Welcome to the first PowerPoint for Human Anatomy. We're going to be using the 7th edition of Human Anatomy by Merib and William and Mallet by Pearson. This first couple of audios are going to be an orientation to the human body. So we're going to be reviewing some basic topics and concepts that are going to come up over and over again, depending upon and regardless of the system that we were in. These are some helpful links. We will find these in other places within the Canvas shell, but these are some links that are related to this section. First and foremost, we have to start off with what is anatomy. Anatomy is simply the study of the structure of the human body. This is not to be confused with physiology, which is a separate class here at Rose State, which is the study of those structures' functions, so what they do. Now, there's a ton of overlap between anatomy and physiology, and it's, to be brutally honest, it's really difficult to talk about one without talking about the other. It is easier to talk about anatomy without talking about the physiology, so it's easier to talk about the structure without getting into the function. But even then, you have to dip your toe into the function just a little bit to help understand why it is, where it is, and what its purpose is. Now, physiology, same thing. It is extraordinarily hard to study and talk about what something does without talking about what it is. So these two concepts are closely tied together, and it is extraordinarily hard to talk about them separately. So we will be talking about physiology just a little bit here in anatomy. Now, anatomy is divided into various disciplines, and depending upon what you're interested in, depends on what sort of discipline you will go into. Now, obviously, there is medicine and then all the sub-disciplines within medicine, internal, OBGYN, orthopedic, but there's more than that. You could be somebody who simply studies gross anatomy. Gross anatomy is the study of the physical objects that you can see, so a muscle, a kidney, but not the microscopic anatomy. So all of the nephrons within the muscle, all of the muscle fibers the nephrons which are in the kidney, the microscopic fibers that are within the muscle. And those are two different fields. The thing I can see with my naked eye, that's gross anatomy. The thing that I can see only if I use a microscope, that's microscopic anatomy. Also typically referred to as histology. Histology is the study of tissues. We can, within gross anatomy, look at regional anatomy, so what is located in the abdomen versus what is located within the thoracic cavity, but we could also look at just what is related to a specific system. There is something also known as surface anatomy, which is simply looking at the skin. And then we have things like radiographic anatomy, how things actually look under imaging. We have embryology, which is the study of development from fertilization to birth. We have developmental anatomy, so the changes in the body from birth until death. Pathological anatomy, or pathology, the study of anatomy as it pertains to what happens to it if you have a specific disease. And then functional morphology. Functional morphology is the study of the shape or form as it relates to function. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, just a review. Hopefully many of you, if not all of you, have taken medical terminology. Just a reminder that medical terminology will come into play heavily here in anatomy and in physiology. Just a reminder, your medical terminology is based upon Greek and Latin. Ancient Greek, ancient Latin, a smattering of old German and old French and old English, but for the most part, Greek and Latin. Why do we use Greek and Latin to talk about medicine and the human body? because it's standard. I can take this medical terminology and I can go and talk to somebody who's from Spain, and they're going to know what I am talking about. So it helps to standardize this entire process. Now we're going to stop here for this audio to continue into the PowerPoint, continue on down the page, and we will continue to discuss various things of overview.